What up, YouTube? It's Matty B. Welcome back to the channel, and as always, thank y'all for tuning in. I really appreciate it. I gotta be honest with y'all, I really did not have it in me to break down Supercross from round 14 in East Rutherford last weekend. Full disclosure, I kind of watched the whole race, but I don't really know if I saw anything. And we had Sexton closing in this points gap on Cooper Webb. We had my guy Seth Hamaker get his second win of the season and hold on to that red plate. I also want to give a shout out to my boy Devin Simonson on getting, I believe, a ninth place in his return to racing. But all that stuff regarding the racing, I mean, yeah, it's entertaining and all, but it's really not important. It's been an incredibly somber mood in this household ever since last Saturday. As we all know, a privateer that has been having an awesome year this year. Jerry Robin went down in practice and suffered the injury that I think we all fear the most. I know myself. What happened to him is something that's always been in the back of my mind. He ended up breaking his back and had a spinal cord injury, and right now has no feeling from belly button down, and I just it's really hit home for sure. Jerry's an awesome guy, and it kills me. I had an awesome day at the Glen Helen Two Stroke World Championship last weekend, and Saturday afternoon when I got some service on the way home and I realized what had happened. Yeah, safe to say I had some allergy attacks on the way home. I'm just so bummed for my boy. And I saw a stat. It says most spinal cord injuries happen in auto accidents. I think upwards of 98% or something like that. But you don't get in your car every day and think, "Gosh, I hope this isn't the day where I get in an accident and lose the function of my legs." Where in motocross, especially Supercross, that's a fear in the back of your mind. Always. And unfortunately, this fear has become a reality for a good friend of mine. So I just wanted to make this video, kind of give you guys some backstory on Jerry Robin and his rags to riches rise to where he's at right now. And then I want to give you guys all the ways to help him out and just explain to y'all how bad he really does need the help. And then last but not least, I recorded this earlier because I don't think I'll have it in me after I'm done with this one, but we'll also do track preview and predictions for Pittsburgh this weekend. But again, none of that stuff feels important to me right now. This video is really all about Jerry Robin and getting some awareness for raising some money for him. And honestly, I was going to neglect to thank my sponsors on this one because this is about Jerry, but my sponsors are going to help me donate to Jerry. I did just save up for a pot to piss in, so I definitely plan on donating to Jerry's cause as well. So huge thank you to my channel sponsors. QuickMoto.com. Use my code on screen for 20% off of some graphics and more. Also, Sirius Studio. I'm now a partner in the company, so anything you buy on their website using my code MB820, a small slice of that goes to me. And lastly, my boy AJ is doing a Tesla Model 3 giveaway. You can scan the QR code and go directly to the giveaway link, and I have the rest of the links in my video description. So Jerry Robin, for those of y'all that don't know, his rise to where he's at right now started about back in 2013. He was trying to qualify for Loretta Lynn's in the two-stroke class, which doesn't exist anymore, and then the highly competitive 250B class. And the kicker was he was doing it on a 1985 CR250, and this wasn't just some publicity stunt or anything like that. He wasn't looking for attention. That's literally just the only bike that he and Pops had. I think they would carry it on the back of like a Suburban or something like that. And really, his coming out party was the Millville Regional in 2013. I think he won some motos in the B class, and he just showed up on a roached out 85 CR. Mismatched gear, visor sticking straight up in the air. The dude did not care how he looked, did not care how old his bike was. He just wanted to pin it, and that's what he did. And shortly after that regional, the owner of South of the Border, where I was training at the time, got a hold of him and really wanted to bring him down the train, wanted to let him do it free of charge because he admired that he was making that 1985 CR work. And really, I think he wanted to show all of us, that had our new bikes that were whining and complaining every day. He kind of, I think he wanted to show us how much of sissies we were being and how much of a savage Jerry really was. And, maybe that would give us some perspective. Probably didn't work, but I can remember the first day Jerry showed up, walked in the gym. We became friends right away. We had already been playing MX Simulator a good bit before then. And yeah, right away we were homies. I remember the first time we went and rode together when he was training with us at South of the Border. He was riding that 1985 CR250. And admittedly, the sand is not really my thing, but it shouldn't have mattered because my bike was 30 years newer than his. But we went riding at this sand track, and I was on my brand new 2013 450, 250, whatever it was. And I was really close to the top of the B class at the time. And Jerry was the exact same speed as me. He matched me all day. And the dude is just an unbelievable natural talent. I got to be around whenever he transitioned from the 1985 and borrowing bikes to then getting that little stint with the Geico Honda team, which kind of ended up falling to the wayside, I think, due to something that was out of Jerry's control. But I mean, yeah, they didn't have much. They really didn't. I literally have vivid memories of his father, Dan, vacuuming the dirt out of air filters instead of changing them. I think they probably only had one, so they were just making do with what they had. That was kind of the theme of the Jerry Robin program. And it's crazy to see how far he really has come in Supercross as a journeyman privateer. I can remember I was there the first time he rode a Supercross track, and I was trying to teach him this rhythm section that I was jumping. It was a double, a triple, and then a step on, step off that I was quadding out of. You guys can argue about that in the comments. But I was trying to get Jerry to follow me over it, and I went 2, 3, 4. I looked back, and Jerry was laid out on the double in. He had a sprocket that was missing teeth and went to Indonesia before he even got to the jump that I was gonna show him how to do. But yeah, just a lot of countless memories. I could go on and on about Jerry Robin. We go way back, and yeah, it's absolutely crushed me that he's in the situation that he's in. It's not about me at all. I'll be fine. No sympathy here. But, he's just such a good friend of mine. And he's just such a good, genuine dude. Like, I can pretty much guarantee you're not going to find anybody in the pits that says, oh, yeah, Jerry's an asshole. Even at Colorado during Pro Nationals a couple years ago, he saw my girlfriend, top chick, and I'd never even introduced him to her before. But he knew who she was, and he just started, chatting her up and just being really nice and friendly. And just because he knew that she was my chick, and that's just how he is, man. He'd give you the shirt off his back, and he was just always full of positivity. Even when I was doing the nationals on the two-stroke, I remember he would always hype me up. Even if I was qualifying like 35th or something, he would always hype me up and tell me how sick it was that we were doing it on the two-stroke. And same with me and his results. I've just been so stoked with how things had came around for him and how well he's been doing. And the dude was having the best season of his career. He's been a consistent main event mainstay all year, but now priorities have changed. And, this is really, it's given me a lot of perspective too. So I kind of wanted to say this for all of y'all. And then, for me too, I need to take my own advice, but we need to be so thankful for what we have. We got to stop taking things for granted. If our order takes a little long in the drive-through, or somebody cuts us off in traffic, or something stupid and inconvenient, like, just brush it off and go on with your day, because we're all really fortunate for a lot of blessings that we have. And now one of my best friends, he's sitting in a hospital bed, and literally all he wants in this world is to be able to walk again. And all of us, I think we wake up every morning and take it for granted. It's just another day. But yeah, definitely be thankful for what you got, because you never know when it can be taken away. And I've been in contact with Jerry and his wife Jen since the accident. Jerry's been pretty off and on. He's pretty doped up on pain meds and all that. It's definitely got to be a rough situation. So I haven't talked to him a ton, but I've been in contact with his wife also. And for all things considered, I can't believe how strong the dude is. I texted him, and he told me it was just a bump in the road and he was going to get through it. And I can't help but admire that strength. That's pretty amazing. And same with his wife, being there by his side. And, I'm glad my dude found somebody to be there with him, because, this kind of injury is hard enough, even with the awesome support that he has. So I'm thankful that he's got good people around him. And I'm thankful for all the support of the moto community. It's really cool, when tragedy strikes in this community, everybody really bands together. Moto is a family, and there's so many outlets and people that are trying to do things to raise money for Jerry. So first off is the Road to Recovery. I'll put all the links for all these things in my description, but please do Jerry a favor. Check out the Road to Recovery page. And guys, you really need to donate to Road to Recovery to help make this happen. Road to Recovery, I think they used to go to the Supercross races and sell shirts, gift bags, and all that kind of stuff to raise money at the races. And I think this year, from what I was told, they were told they weren't supposed to be selling things in the pits, and they were selling things in the pits to try to raise money for these injured riders. So now they're not allowed to fundraise in the pits at Supercross anymore. But Road to Recovery, that's an awesome place to start, and they are really doing the Lord's work. Huge thank you to Road to Recovery. Something else I wanted to take it upon myself to offer. I have Jerry's Venmo, PayPal, and Cash App. I'm going to put all that on screen and in my description. Road to Recovery is awesome, but they're a legitimate foundation. So you don't just get your money at the snap of a finger. Talking to somebody else who's been through the process, I think you got to say exactly what the money's for. And I've been told it's a little bit like having an allowance. And again, I don't mean any of that at all negative against Road to Recovery. Like, they're just a real foundation. Like, that's how they have to operate. to do it legitimately. So again, huge thank you to Road to Recovery for stepping in and helping injured riders. But I also want to give you all the opportunity to donate directly to Jerry and his wife Jen, just so they can have some day-to-day money to get by. The Road to Recovery money, I think that really needs to be more for like medical bills or just specific things. Where if I can just get some money sent to their Venmo, PayPal, and all that, they'll just have a little bit of money at the ready that they don't have to go through any red tape for. Also, really cool, some more people are stepping in. I saw PulpMX has a fundraiser going. I saw a lot on VitalMX. Michael Lindsay is a good friend of Jerry's, and he's been putting together a lot of things for fundraising and auction items. I even saw Justin Starling was doing a raffle for Jerry. Just a lot of his good friends and people in the industry are coming together to try to help. And even me, with my new channel sponsor that I just brought on, ASV, we're going to partner together and put together a giveaway package for Jerry. Maybe we'll do it as a raffle or something. Whatever can get him the most money for help, that's what we're going to do. And last but not least, the easiest thing you can do is if you see these Road to Recovery pages or anything to support Jerry, just hit the share button. That's all. It's free and it takes about 2 seconds. I'm a little bit bummed. I haven't seen any updates or anything on the Supercross Instagram, and I feel like 2 million followers could go a long way for some awareness and just to spread the word that Jerry needs help. But I'm not going to pretend like I follow other sports or that I own a big business and that I know how these things work. It's just, it hit me home. It's one of my best friends, and I'm just bummed that there hasn't been any awareness from their end, but it is what it is. Maybe they don't want that side of the sport shown. I don't know. But I did see an NBC Sports article about it, and I feel like that's even more mainstream. So props to them for getting the word out. And yeah, I mean, it's not been a very fun week thinking about my guy and the situation he's in. And yeah, really everybody that races motocross, we all put our lives on the line every time we get behind the gate. And, it's not just Jerry. There are still more people that are struggling that need our help. So if you go to that Road to Recovery page, if you're feeling generous, there's several names on there. No donations too small. I'm sure all of them would appreciate anything you could give. And yeah, I hope this video will hopefully at least just give you guys an idea of where Jerry came from, how good of a dude he is, and just spread the awareness to get the dude the help that he needs. Because this situation's killing me. This kind of things happen to way too many people that I'm close to, but it's all part of the sport that we know and love. And the dude's tackling it head on like an absolute savage. And get well soon, Jerry. We love you, brother. All right, now on to a little bit of an easier topic to talk about, a track preview and breakdown for round 15 in Pittsburgh going down this weekend. And to be honest with you guys, I've been really excited about this track layout for a long time, ever since I saw it way back in December. I feel like this could be the best track of the year. It's got some really unique aspects, multiple options in the rhythm lanes, a super long split lane that I've never seen before, an inside, outside, off camber section, and a lot more. And how crazy is it that we're only 3 rounds away from getting to the great outdoors this summer? Man, this season has flown by, but let's get into the track breakdown. We got the start right down the middle, full stadium length straightaway this week, and I really like those because it gives people the opportunity to spread out before entering turn 1 so we don't have as many bar lock nationals. Then into the first turn, a sweeping 180 to the left. Then out of the first turn, we've got our first of 2 consecutive rhythm sections right off the start, and I love what they've done with this one because on entrance to the rhythm, there are 2 different distinct options to set you up for different rhythms through the section. So I'm thinking if you go outside, you'll be able to double in, then triple again, then double out. Or if you go to the inside, you'll roll in, then triple again, and then triple once more into another 180 bull corner. And at first glance, I'm thinking the outside option is going to be way faster because that second rhythm that I just rattled off to you guys, you're taking off of 5-footers on the second and third triples, where on the other side, if you enter to the outside, you're taking off of 3-footers the whole section. So maybe they'll revise that. I feel like the track crew is really good at making multiple viable options on the track, but if it stays like this, I don't think taking off those 5-footers is necessarily going to be the ticket. But then out of this 180 left, we got another really technical section here. It starts with a step on, step off, and those are always tough. It's one thing doing a step on, step off, but to go off twice is really technical. It's hard to get that lift off of the second step off. So I'm thinking the line through here is going to be step on, step off, triple, and then double into the corner. And I say double into the corner because that's typically what you're going to do 99.9% of the time in these rhythm sections. But on this track, we got a sick, unique obstacle here with the off camber in this corner. So I actually think going single to the inside, and maybe there will be a rut that'll form in that off camber. I think that could be an option. And then coming out of that, the options continue, and it's all dictated by which line you take in the corner. If you go wide and hit the berm, then I'm thinking the only thing you can do out of that is double. And that rhythm option is brought to you by In-N-Out Burger. If you go inside through the off camber, depending on how they build it, maybe you can roll off that beginning drop off and then seat bounce triple. And I'm really hopeful that this section is going to work out well, because if you go to the berm and rail the outside, I feel like the turn will be a little bit faster, but then to do the double-double, you got to do your second double off of a 5-footer, so that'll get you some air time. If you go to the inside, the off-camber might be a little bit slow, but if you can roll and triple out, you miss the 5-footer and can get back to the ground quicker. And I think the outside's going to be the smooth, consistent line, but the inside is going to be a challenging but rewarding line. And it's going to be crucial not to make a mistake in this little rhythm because there's a Supercross triple right afterwards. And even as basic as this next little bit of track is, I think it's going to provide such exciting racing because you could land this triple. If you go outside, that's for sure going to be the hot line because you can slingshot and rip back down the next straightaway. But if you have somebody right behind you, you may have to go defensive and hug the inside. The guy who's behind could then go to the berm, square up, and race back down the start straight into the next bull corner. So 2 bull corners in a row with a straightaway in between. I feel like that's going to be really fun to watch the dynamic between who rides defensive, who goes outside and lets it eat, and who takes advantage of going full Bam Bam El Hombre mode. And these are the last 2 corners before the finish line, so you already know we're going to see some chaos in those LCQs and those last transfer spots for heat races. And I even have a strange feeling we're going to see some fireworks and some action between the number 4 and the number 2 in these last couple of corners at some point throughout the night. But land the finish line into another 180 to the left. You gotta love all the 180s and the lack of 90s on this track. Then this next section is going to be a little bit different on race day because they have the new rule where they don't want to put any obstacles before the whoops. Heaven forbid we see Mookie unleash that entry speed again, but I think they're just trying to keep the speeds down. And I can so appreciate and respect things being done in the name of safety. I think it's awesome, but I have a little bit of a different opinion on the matter. Let me know if you think I'm out to lunch or what. But I think more than anything, the condition of the whoops is what causes crashes more than speed. The more they break down and the more edgy and messed up they get, the more people that are going to swap side to side and have issues. And again, just my opinion, but I also think the condition of the whoops is way more relevant than the number of whoops. I think you could have 20 whoops in there, and if they didn't get too chopped out, I think everybody would be fine. And I actually think that putting the whoops out of the corner rather than after the rhythm going into a corner will cause them to break down a lot more because coming right out of a corner, you're going to need a lot more acceleration to get through the whoops, where on the flip side, how the layout is on the map, you would have a lot of entry speed coming into the whoops and you would only really have to maintain that speed rather than need so much forward drive just to get all the way through the whoop section. So that's just my take, but let me know what y'all think. But I've already seen pictures of the track build. The whoops and the rhythm section are reversed in this section, so you're going to come out of the 180 left and try to get some momentum through the whoops because right out of the whoops is now a triple on, step off, and very similar to Seattle, how you had the whoops and then the triple right after it. I love the fact that how you hit the whoops is going to determine whether or not you can make the obstacle right after the whoops, so it's going to be super technical and tough to nail that rhythm consistently. Then into this final section of the track, continuing the very unique nature of this course, we've got a split lane that I've never really seen before. You can either go inside and then hit a little step up out of the corner, and then that sets you up for the outside of the next bull turn, or you can rail all the way around the outside of the berm, no step up needed, and that spits you out on the inside of the next bull corner. And in theory, this section could turn out to be so cool because no matter which line you take, it's a give and take. You can either be a little bit faster at the beginning of the corner, but then have to hit the step up and give up the inside for the next bull corner, or you can do the trailer park girls around the outside at the beginning, which is sure to be slower, but that sets you up on the inside for the next corner in a perfect spot to execute a block pass. So just like a lot of the other sections on this track, this is perfect setup for passing, and I'm a really big fan of the layout. I think it's going to provide some awesome racing. A lot of sections where you either got to go defensive or risk getting freezied. So between all the passing options, the rhythm options, and the unique aspects of the track, in my opinion, they knocked this one out of the park. I'm so excited to see how it races. Now to close this video out with the prediction national, as always, we're going to start with 250 East, and with the win, I gotta go Seth Hammaker again. Y'all know my bias on this channel, but I really think it's Seth's world, and these boys are just living in it. I think it's his time to grab this championship by the balls and bring it home. He's been the whole package this year. He's working with the Lawrence brothers, and apart from a few incidents that weren't his fault, he would actually have a pretty big points lead, so I've got Hammaker bringing home another win. Then in the second spot, I've got Tom Vial, and that's mainly because I think these top 3 championship contenders have kind of separated themselves from the rest of the pack, but I have to pick Tom over RJ because every interview I've heard with RJ lately, all he's talking about is how bad his wrist is and how he's struggling and how he's going to need surgery. So I've got Tom Vial second and RJ Hampshire gritting it out to a third. Then in the 450 class, I know y'all have heard me say this before, but I'm going to say it again. I've got Cooper Webb for the win. I was wrong last weekend. I should have known that the 2 whoops were going to be a factor, but I thought he would find a way anyway, but I think that's actually going to happen this weekend. If it doesn't, the dude might be in trouble because Denver and Salt Lake favor Chase Sexton, and I think he knows that, so I think this is the weekend that Cooper Webb puts the seal on this championship cushion he's got. Then in second, I think it's going to be a hard-fought second, maybe one of the best races of the year, but I think it's going to go to Chase Sexton. And then rounding out the podium, Yeehaw, Cowboy time, Aaron Plessinger. The dude's been on a great run, and I think it's going to continue this weekend. But again, what do I know? I'm just some guy with a channel and a phone. Let me know what y'all think in the comments. Let me know if you agree, if you disagree, if I'm a cooked unit, whatever you think, throw it my way. It doesn't scare me. But I appreciate y'all watching. Thank you again. We're out.